6:30 p.m. in Mankan Mezam Division, Northwest Region of Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Fon Quinta welcoming you to the 6:30 p.m. edition of News live from Studio 1 of My Media Prime Television here in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. Now, officials of secondary education are strategizing ahead of the 2021-2022 academic year. In this regard, they met today in Douala in a meeting chaired by the Regional Delegate for Secondary Education. Details with Lasha Kingsley.
In a bid to ensure a successful school resumption in the littoral come September 6, stakeholders of private and public schools of the Wuri Division held their first meeting this Thursday, September 2, at the Government Technical High School GTHS Kumasi. It was a question for the various school authorities to analyze the region's overall output last academic year. Presiding over the meeting, the regional delegates of secondary education for the littoral expressed satisfaction with the outstanding performance of the region in official exams last year during a period characterized by the COVID-19 pandemic. He emphasized the respect of the barrier measures put in place by the government this academic year, as defaulters will face severe sanctions.
The major prescription, first of all, is to respect all the barrier measures because we have not yet tackled completely the COVID-19. So we have to continue giving some material to schools for them to make the disinfection, to continue keeping the bucket for students to wash their hands, and then to have soap too, and then for all the students to enter the classroom with a mask. In case of high level of number of students, we can continue making the shift system. So it depends on the number of students per school. All the inspectors will be on the field from Monday to Wednesday to check. And then at any time that we have any information, maybe from you or from parents, we'll go in the schools to see why they are not respecting the barrier measures.
Following controversies surrounding the payment of PTA levies, the delegate equally stressed the importance of PTA in the effective running of schools.
I don't know a public school or even some private school that can function without the PTA association. So we know that today in our various schools we lack teachers, that we need to buy some benches, we need to do many things. And even this constraint coming from COVID push us to disinfect classes almost once or twice a week. And it needs means. And the single association or partner that can give the means to the school is PTS. It is the parent who have to decide it, not the principal.
School authorities on their part are determined to overcome challenges faced last year to achieve more success this year.
Last academic year, actually the challenges we face, meeting up with the students, the number of students, and to respect the COVID rules of 1 meter apart per student. So we had to even add some classes, build some new classes, and added more teachers.
The meetings with stakeholders ahead of the 2021-2022 academic year continue tomorrow in other divisions of the littoral region.
In a related story, stakeholders in the secondary education sector in the southwest region of Cameroon have taken new commitment to ensure a successful 2021-2022 school reopening. They met in Boya during the first education sector conference for secondary schools attended by Governor of the southwest region, Bernard Okalabilai. Details with Clarice Okowe.
These are secondary education pedagogues in the southwest region who met at Balingua Grammar School Moliko Boya for their first education sector conference for the year 2021/2022. Attended by principals and other education stakeholders, the purpose of this conclave was to put checks on how the previous academic year unfolded and to further strategize on a more effective and successful 2021/2022 academic year.
I've administratively held all the necessary meetings and planned the strategies together. Strategies to ensure that our parents send children to school as soon as schools reopen. Strategies to ensure that teachers are effectively in school.
Furthermore, according to the Southwest Regional Delegate of Secondary Education, Dr. Hannah Etondembua, The 88,829 students who enrolled last year conversely to the plus 62,000 in 2019 is a positive indication of better enrollments in the days ahead, despite constraints brought about by the insecurity crisis in the region.
Teachers who were redeployed from non-functional schools thought that until the minister visas or gives an approval, they were not supposed to go to the other schools. So they took it and stayed, and we did not see them in the schools. But when the minister reiterated, good number of the teachers, I can't say about 70% of these teachers, went to their schools before the end of the last school year.
Chairing this first education sector conference for the year 2021/2022, Governor Bernard Okala-Bilal also enjoined teachers on the need to be regular in their classrooms, employ distant learning by using the ministry website, among others. The event was crowned with a recognition of excellence awarded to some outstanding students and schools.
As September 6 school resumption that builds, book vendors say their shelves are already stocked with supplies, but purchase is still below margin. Our reporter Darling Gande visited some bookshops in the nation's economic capital and brought back the following report for Prime News.
Supplies are steady, with most of the books on program already on the bookshelves. Talking to this book vendor, he says the purchase team is still below margin. Up to now, sales are still timid. Parents have not begun passing by libraries and bookshops. I don't know why. Maybe they have not yet been paid their salaries. Despite the low turnover rates, this book vendor, on his part, says provisions for all academic levels have been taken into consideration this year, but the fear of unpurchased books is previewed after the September set date.
Je vends les livres neufs et les livres d'occasion.
I sell both new and second-handed books because we take into consideration the status of all Cameroonians. We sell second-handed books to satisfy clients who haven't got money to buy new books. Sometimes you want to offer them a new book that they shun away, saying, this year is a difficult one.
Cette année-ci, c'est très fort. Et après cette période, généralement, il y a toujours resté des livres.
But after this period, we fear many books will still be left on our shelves. And the difficulty that comes with this is that when the next academic year comes up, such books are no longer on the program. Talking further as to what category of books he sells, Mr. Joel adds he sells to suit all contexts. I sell books that are on the program, that is to say, from the nursery, general, up to the advanced level. Besides the challenge of low turnover rates, Mr. Joel further adds that their business seems to be a bone of contention between them and other entrepreneurs. We have so many difficulties here at the library because today it seems everyone wants to sell textbooks. Textbooks are now sold even in supermarkets and schools. At the end of the day, we don't know who a bookseller is, a teacher, and all whatnot. This other book vendor further decries the poor relationship existing between them and local school authorities around town.
En principe, au niveau des écoles publiques,
at the level of public and private schools, and particularly with the private schools, we don't have a win-win partnership because firstly, the state had ordered us not to sell textbooks to private institutions. So all school administrators are now booksellers, so much such that when parents present their book list to us, the first thing they are doing is taking out books that will be bought in schools. Whatever the case, dealers in the textbook sector are reassuring parents and scholars that textbooks are available for all levels and reliable on time.
A torrential downpour has left parts of the city of Douala inundated for over 48 hours. There has been persistent rainfall in Cameroon's economic city, making life very difficult for inhabitants. Student journalists on internship, a young Tennyson visited affected neighborhoods and compiled the following report.
These are the images of some neighborhoods in Douala, the economic capital of Cameroon. it has been raining cats and dogs since the early hours of Wednesday, the 31st of September 2021. Like other years, this September has proven not to be different. So many inhabitants of Douala were stranded as they could not go about their daily activities as water has taken over some of the major roads and neighborhoods in Douala like Bonaberi, Bonamusadi, Bepanda, Misoke, just to name a few. Some bike riders had to go through longer routes for fear of not destroying their bikes in water. While some passengers complain of bike riders' prices to be too high, some of the motorbike riders are saying that they risk their safety and that of their bikes taking these overflooded roads. If they have to go through a longer road which is free from water, it will mean more fuel, thus leading to the hikes in prices of transportation fare witnessed since yesterday. It should be borne in mind that the Ministry of Transport had sent out a communique warning city dwellers to take precaution as bad weather conditions will be witnessed from the 31st to the 2nd of September 2021. Fingers crossed as more rains could be expected.
Other people of Jingjang Beton, a village in Sancho subdivision in the west region of Cameroon, have challenged government to reach out to them and provide basic commodities, including electricity and good roads. Arlene Summer looked at the plight of these people and compiled the following.
Lack of electricity and roads, two basic necessities for development, are lacking in Jingjang Beton, a locality in Sancho subdivision, Menua division, west region of Cameroon. The villagers of the locality, majority of whom are farmers, hunters and business people, say the lack of electricity and roads has left their economy crippled. Please, we do not have roads. We have bananas, cocoa. We can only carry them on our heads. We are in dire need of roads. The small roads which we have, we barely use our hands to fix them. So automatically, we need roads. The people of Jingjang Beton say they have been suffering for many years, are tired of using bush lamps, calling on the government to help them out. Oh God, please government help us. Help us. We are really suffering. We are tired of using bush lamps. Please, government, please help us. Another local expressed the worries of the villagers. We have been walking on foot for so long. We don't have roads. We have nothing here. Please send us light. Please, please. We want to make a road now with these logs. We don't even know if it will work. The locals of Jingjang Beton say the village has rich resources, a big forest with trees and more yet to be exploited and used to develop the village, its environs and beyond.
Coffee farmers in the Mungo Division, Littoral region of Cameroon have expressed disgruntlement with the agricultural system in that part of the country. They are, however, hopeful things will get better as they prepare for upcoming elections. Details with Nora Kakebi.
Farmers in the Mungo Division, Littoral region are feeling quite frustrated and unhappy due to the sharp fall in prices of coffee. The farmers decry the fact that they can no longer afford to care for their needs because of the very little and insignificant benefits they make from the coffee cultivation. They have eventually abandoned the cultivation of coffee to focus on the cultivation of other crops.
La situation du verger du café dans le département du Mungo est déplorable.
The situation of coffee farmers is deplorable.
Parce qu'avant, c'est le café que nos parents ont utilisé pour payer l'école de leurs enfants.
In the past, our parents used to educate us from the huge sales from coffee and cocoa, but today it is practically impossible to realize these benefits. The sector obviously needs a new team in place to change the narrative.
Donc, il est important qu'aujourd'hui, qu'on revoie une autre méthode pour régénérer ces vergers vieillissants.
Despite their frustration, farmers believe it is still possible to revamp the sector by adopting another method of censoring those who represent them at the Chamber of Agriculture. With the elections of the new Bureau of the Chamber of Agriculture programmed soon, it is now left onto the farmers of the coffee sector to take their destinies into their hands. According to another farmer, the agricultural policies in Mongo is deplorable and has rendered farmers miserable.
La Chambre d'agriculture, dans le littoral que je connais particulièrement, il est négatif.
The agricultural system is completely negative.
L'agriculteur a besoin de se sentir proche de ce qui le représente.
And farmers go on for several years without feeling the presence of their representatives in the division. They feel deceived and miserable.
Beaucoup d'agriculteurs vivent dans la misère. Et cette misère-là, nous voulons qu'elle s'arrête.
The farmers are anxious to see a quick revolution in agriculture in this region.
Now, Hygiene and Sanitation Company of Cameroon, better known in its French acronym ISACAM, has acquired 100 new garbage disposal trucks to keep cities in Cameroon clean. The 12 billion investment is the fruit of a partnership agreement between the government of Cameroon and France, geared towards preparations of the AFCON 2022 competition. According to officials of ISACAM, the new trucks will go a long way to keep streets clean and decongested, thereby reducing traffic on some roads often blocked by garbage during the competition. Now, September 2nd is commemorated worldwide as Coconut Day, aimed at recognizing the economic and health benefit of coconut. The day is commemorated this year under the theme building a safe, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable coconut community amid COVID-19 pandemic and beyond. Details with Bokengo Wadi.
Coconuts have been a powerhouse for many decades, providing mankind with a vast range of products and benefits. From the outer layer, which can be used as manure, to the hard shell used as firewood, especially the tender white flesh, and coconut water, which is used for cooking. The fruit is known as the richest supply of healthy vegetable oil, containing about 65 to 70% of it. With a wide range of recipe other than cooking, some coconut products such as coconut cream, oil, butter, and more are considered byproducts which are used as added components to some beauty products for smooth, timeless, and glowing skin, as they are a rich source of antifungal, antibacterial, antioxidant, and also contains electrolytes. Health-wise, the coconut fruit contains harmless saturated fat, provides good cholesterol, helps in the reduction of belly fat, controls diabetes, improves digestion, fights and speeds up the smooth functioning of the body's metabolism, promotes brain function, and is used in treatment for diseases like gallbladder disease, heart attack, pancreatitis, candida, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's disease, cancer, and many more. Seeking to promote one of nature's healthiest fruits, on World Coconut Day, which was first commemorated in September 2009, governments worldwide are encouraged to promote the creation and development of coconut industry, bearing in mind that coconut farming reduces unemployment, alleviates poverty, encourages investment, strengthens agricultural sector and economy of a nation.
And so sports transfers into new football clubs have come to an end, with some players expressing satisfaction while others are not. Student journalist on internship Nzile Emmanuel followed up the new transfers and compiled the following.
After a 3-year contract in the English club Fulham, Frank Zamboanguissa is set to continue his football career in the Italian Serie A. The 25-year-old midfielder has been given on loan to the Italian club Napoli. All the operations are estimated to €10 million, wishing him luck for his new journey. Kylian Mbappé stays at Paris Saint-Germain after the $220 million offer by Real Madrid to purchase the French striker. Paris Saint-Germain still considers the 25-year-old to be a key player in the club and decides not to let him go. Real Madrid officials point out that even if they didn't succeed to have Kylian this summer, they will have him for free next summer. German international Jerome Boateng, who for the past 12 years have been playing for the German club Bayern Munich, will also have to continue his football journey in the French league. The 32-year-old defender went on a free transfer to Olympique de Lyon, where he will be playing for 2 years with option to renew his contract. It has been seen, it has been heard that Cristiano Ronaldo is back to Manchester United. The Portuguese signed a contract of €385,000 per week, which is going to be running for 2 years.
News out of the country: at least 70 pupils in Nigeria's northwestern state of Zamfara have been abducted, the latest in a series of school attacks in the country. These and more on what's making news on the African continent. Police in Nigeria's northwest Zamfara state say gunmen have abducted more than 70 students in yet another school attack, prompting authorities to close all primary and secondary schools across Zamfara state. The new kidnapping on Wednesday, September 1, at a government-based secondary school in the remote village of Kaya came just days after 3 other groups of hostages were freed when large ransom payments were reportedly made. According to Zamfara State Police spokesman Mohammed Shehu, a large group of attackers stormed the school around noon, shooting into the air before taking the students. Meanwhile, an operation is on the way to rescue them. So far, more than 1,000 students have been kidnapped from schools in northern Nigeria since December, while most pupils ultimately have been released. Some have died or killed in captivity, and about 200 remained hostages before Wednesday's attack. Elsewhere, a television host in Ivory Coast has been given a 12-month suspended jail term for condoning rape after guest on his primetime show acted out sexual assaults with a dummy. The program, broadcast at prime time by the private Nouversion Ivorian channel, caused outrage with a petition signed by more than 50,000 people demanding that the presenter, Yves Dembella, be punished. The presenter was ordered on Wednesday by Ivory Coast Audiovisual Authority to pay a fine of 2 million francs and suspended for 30 days from all radio and television stations, and has been barred from leaving Abidjan. Yves Dembella, laughing, encouraged his TV guest, a man presented as a former rapist, to use a dummy to demonstrate how he abused his victims. On Wednesday, about 10 women gathered outside NCI, demanding that the station set aside time to give voice to rape victims and raise public awareness about sexual violence. And the exploitation of migrants in Africa and the protection of their human rights were among the topics discussed by representatives from the United Nations, International Organization of Migration, and officials from African countries and the African Union at a conference looking at the impact of migration across the African continent. The two-day discussion on migration and human mobility inside and outside the continent began on Wednesday via Zoom. Speaking during the meeting, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights of Migrants revealed that coronavirus pandemic, conflicts, food insecurity, and climate change were some of the major factors forcing people to move inside and outside the continent, with the criminalization of migration in some countries leading to an increase in smuggling and trafficking of migrants. The conference is geared towards preparing reports that will be presented and discussed in the Global Review of the implementation of the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration in 2022. And we've come to the end of today's edition of Prime News, coordinated for us by Fifth Tata. The news was produced by Ewan and Nalinga Ella. My name is Fonquinta. Prima comes up at 7 p.m. with Kumle Naranis. We meet again tomorrow, same time, same station, Prime News. Stay with us. Good night.